And don't judge a blob by its cover. That's the message from an environmental group which has crowned the blobfish its Fish of the Year. Now, once named the world's ugliest animal thanks to its unique appearance, the blobfish is now being celebrated for its differences. Mainly found off the coast of Australia and Tasmania, the animal is known for its misshapen jelly-like silhouette. Now, for more on this, I'm joined by Lorna Dugan, the National Coordinator at Mountains to Sea Conservation Trust. Now, tell us, Lorna, how did this fish go from being deemed the most ugliest animal to becoming Fish of the Year?
Well, its ascent to the surface has been dizzying, not only from the dark depths to be crowned Fish of the Year 2025. There was a bit of a battle of the deep. We had two deep sea contenders for this title this year, the orange ruffy and the blobfish.
And tell us a bit more about the blobfish then. I understand it can actually look quite different from when it's in the water and when it's out of the water.
Yeah, so they've gotten a pretty bad rap because down in the deep dark ocean where they're perfectly adapted to, they actually look like a normal sort of fish. But once you start to bring them to the surface, that increase in pressure and being trawled up in a big net, their skin sloughs off and their tissue is very jelly-like, and they pretty much disintegrate, unfortunately, once they get to the surface, and they look very sad indeed.
So it's a bit of a harsh then, given the conditions. We're just not seeing them in the best light, I suppose you could say. But what was the aim of this competition then, and to single out the blobfish in particular?
Awesome. So for Fish of the Year, it's the 5th year we've run this competition, and we've got 50 species that are found around New Zealand waters, both from the very deep to up at the surface. We've got marine and freshwater species. One of them is the blobfish. So we use this when we're teaching in schools about marine conservation. The blobfish is one of our examples of a deep sea, perfectly adapted specimen. But yeah, the only time that we ever interact with them is when they've been quite, pulled from the depths up to the surface very, very quickly. So they are definitely worse for wear once they hit the surface.
Yeah, and tell us a bit more about what your group does when it comes to protecting marine life then.
Cool. So Mountains to Sea Conservation Trust, we do marine and freshwater education and conservation all around New Zealand. So we start in the tops of the catchments. So we do freshwater, teach people how to monitor their streams and rivers, following it down from the mountains to the sea into the oceans. So we take kids snorkeling, we get them out into their marine and freshwater environments so that they can see firsthand. And we also work with, farmers and landowners. So we do a lot of really cool stuff, both land-based and in our oceans.
Yeah, this education is going to be crucially important to help us protect the environment going forward. Stories like this about the blobfish really sort of highlight the diversity that we would risk losing if sort of climate change isn't really addressed and those sorts of environmental issues aren't taken seriously.
Yeah, so Fish of the Year is an opportunity to shine a light, well, literally for these deep sea species that have no light down where they live. It's very dark and cold, but shine a light on some of these blobs, the underdogs in the marine world. So we've also got in this competition, we had the longfin eel, one of our endemic species here in New Zealand that only breeds once in their life, and they wait until they're about 80 years old. They swim from New Zealand up to Tonga, which is in the Pacific Islands, to a trench, and then they spawn up there and then travel all the way back to New Zealand. So it's a one-way trip for the adults. So it's an opportunity, this competition, to allow the general public to have a peek beneath the surface and see all our fishy friends.